Hi, I'm Sarah Jane Moon and I'd like to welcome you to the virtual scan of my studio here in London. This is a portrait of Nawal al-Saadawi, who is a prominent Egyptian feminist and campaigner. This portrait was commissioned for Time magazine, who recently, in March this year, in fact, did a series where they featured women who should have been on the cover of Time magazine. And so my portrait of Nawal al-Saadawi was featured for the 1981 cover. This is my portrait of Juno Roche. Juno is a writer and trans activist. She's published a number of books, including Queer Sex, Trans Power, and most recently Gender Explorers. That one was painted in 2019 and was part of my exhibition Queer Portraits that I staged at the end of last year. This is the desk in my studio where I do a lot of admin to do with my work, so that includes everything from organising exhibitions with galleries and organising commissions, photo shoots with sitters, maintaining and updating my photo log and my inventory, as well as social media, invoicing, everything really. There's a number of postcards of paintings on the wall. Many of my favourite painters are here, including Jenny Saville, Cecily Brown, Maria Lasnig. There's Rita Angus, a prominent New Zealand painter, Paula Rego, Alice Neal is up the top there, Shani Rees-James, Michael Armitage. There's a whole lot of people I find very inspiring here. The portrait on the easel is of campaigner Peter Tatchell, who I've wanted to paint for some time. This painting is really at the very beginning of my process, so I'm working from photographs on an iPad, a number of different photographs, and the one that you can see in the scan is mostly used for the composition. So I'm really just trying to get things in the right place at the moment to make sure nothing is too big or too small, and to shift things around, and also to start to try out colours. So the oil paint is thinned down with a solvent and it becomes very diluted, so it's just a very thin layer of colour at this stage, which means that it's easier to change later on if I change my mind. There are also two large paintings that I completed in lockdown. They're self-portraits in one sense, in that I'm the figure in the paintings, but the landscape is really the dominant element, and these are meant to be a sort of vehicle for thinking through that initial period of lockdown and the isolation that many people felt, and our sort of our relationship to the natural world. So I was really trying to think through those sorts of ideas about isolation and uncertainty. The landscapes are both from places in New Zealand. The one called Don't Dream It's Over, that has the figure on the pier, is set in Katikati in New Zealand's North Island, and the other one called Maybe Tomorrow has a landscape from Lake Wakatipu in the South Island near Queenstown. And both titles, incidentally, are from songs by New Zealand artists. On top of the storage unit, you can see two smaller portraits of two artist friends of mine. On the left is Felicity Allen, and on the right is Elizabeth Shields. You can also see in the corridor a portrait of Dr. Ronks, who is an A&E doctor and also television presenter. This portrait has been in the BP Portrait Award, last year's exhibition, so the 2019 one that started at the National Portrait Gallery and has toured the country, and it's only just arrived back with me now. Thanks so much for visiting my studio virtually. If you do have any questions or comments, or you'd like to keep in touch, please do find me online at www.sarahjanemoon.com. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. Thanks very much.